Water always needs a container. Now, this is a very popular argument for flat earthers, and I'm doing a series on flat earth arguments. So I thought I would dissect this from an argumentation perspective. So when you say things to people from the heliocentric model, they have a really hard time with words and actions. So sometimes they'll say a word and they won't understand that the actions don't meet the definition of their word. They have a really hard time with this. I call them schizophrenics when they don't accept the definitions of words. So they say things like, you can see the boat going over the horizon, and you can see it going hull first over the horizon. Now, the truth is, you don't see the boat go over the horizon. When flat earthers bring boats back into view with the camera, what they're explaining to you is you don't see the boat go over the horizon. The horizon is the vanishing point of perspective. The horizon is where you just don't see any farther. So you have a horizon line where the water meets the sky, or where the sky meets the sky, and it's just beyond the horizon. What you see beyond what you can see, and you just can't see any farther. You just see sky, or you just see water. Now they give us GoPro images first and foremost and say you can see the curve. That's the first thing they do. They say you can see the curve. You can see this curve. It was proven. You know, the pictures don't do it for you. No, the pictures don't do it for me for NASA. The number one proof of flat Earth is just you don't see curve and you don't feel motion. And then you go look at the pictures of NASA and just go look at all of them. Go look at the satellite images, and that's the number one proof for me. That just, unless you come and show me otherwise, I'm not going to assume what the government is teaching me because those pictures look so fake. We know it's real because it's fake. No, it looks fake. If it's fake, it's probably fake. If the shoe fits, it's what it looks like in some cases. Now, if something else came along and told us otherwise, okay, then we'd be willing to listen. Now, I feel like I'm preaching to the choir here, but I think it's important to dissect these arguments because the other side is becoming very dishonest. Very, very dishonest. And they do this thing where they don't have their words mimic their actions. And it's really easy to beat them in an argument if you understand what they're doing. So they say the boat goes over the curve of the earth, and it doesn't. You don't see it go over the curve of the earth. You don't see it go over the horizon. You just don't see any further. Samuel Rowbotham and William Carpenter and the guys from the late 1800s that wrote books about flat earth, they explained it as the boat coming in from the horizon, not rising up. You don't see any angular change. No, they do. They say because we see the different things with the sun, they try to discredit our model with the sun. But the sun, that has to do with the sky and has to do with the air. And sometimes the sun looks bigger and sometimes it looks smaller depending on what the clouds are doing. When you see the sun through smoky clouds, it looks really small, really small. When there's no clouds, sometimes the sun looks the same size. Sometimes it looks bigger. Sometimes it looks smaller. And it doesn't matter where it is. It just has to do with what's going on in the air. Now, again, they like to build a model and then they'll change the test of the model. I call it changing their model. They're not changing their model. They're changing the test. So with eclipses, when the sun is 93 million miles away, they'll bring it in 3,000 miles away. They'll bring it in to show the moon go right in front of it. They'll show them at the moon, the sun and the moon at the same distance. Now, I call that changing your model to fit your hypothesis. I don't know what the best term for that is, but they always change their test. They always change it to fit their model. And the container argument is a really strong argument, and it encompasses all of flat Earth. So it shows you how their model just is a theory. So they can understand that water have a container, but that's one of the reasons why they don't like flat Earth either. So then they want to build the flat Earth model and say, where's their container for your Earth? Where's your container? That's one of the reasons why they can't understand flat Earth, because where's the edge? And that's a solid criticism. We don't know too much of our edge. We're not allowed to go there. There is an Antarctic treaty. There's the Australia treaty that doesn't let you go. I think it's like past the 60th parallel. By the 70th parallel, that's where they get really antsy and they will come after you with warships. And then by the 80th parallel, that's where the ice wall starts. So I want to go from New Zealand and just go and show you how close it is from New Zealand, show you South Victoria Land, and show you how it's like right off the coast of Christchurch. It's right there. It's right there when we show that it's we're not coming out the other side of their ball. It's game set match. So our container is a land barrier, an ice barrier. We don't really know. I mean, we're speculation. If we were allowed to go to the North Pole, it would probably make a lot more sense. There's rumors that there's tide pools at the North Pole and the water goes down, and there's an underworld system too. But we don't know. There's stuff we don't know, and the synthetic realm of flat Earth is okay with saying there's things we don't know. Now, they add gravity for their container. Oh, it's gravity. Now, gravity is a theory, and I can prove that gravity is a theory because a sponge on water isn't affected by your gravity. Gravity is pulling things into the center of mass based off of a spinning ball. It's particles. It's something outside of outside of our observations. And they can't seem to comprehend that. The only instance in the history of the world where something is stuck, where liquid is stuck to a side of a spinning ball is with NASA CGI, with NASA pictures. That's the only time. It's a complete theory. Nothing in reality says that water sticks to a spinning ball. The sponge sits on the water, and then if you dunk the sponge in the water, the mass of the sponge gets heavier. Or if the sponge is buoyant and the water seeps into the sponge, yeah, then it will sink. But if not, it just sits there on top of the water. That disproves your gravity. Gravity is disproven time and time again. It's just a theory. Buoyancy and density 100% satisfy every question on why things rise and why things fall. It's just simple mass. The object is the object, and then when it interacts with another object, it will either take over that other object, or that object will take over it. Helium will rise. It will go with the wind. The wind doesn't necessarily go in the direction of a spin. There is no need for gravity outside of this hypothesis that the Earth is spinning. Now they're building a dome in Las Vegas, a theater. It's going to be a dome. It's going to be a sphere. They're calling it a sphere. And it's going to be a concert venue. And why can't you stick things to the side of that ball? Why can't they recreate this gravity in a ball? Now, flat earthers get this. Flat earthers understand this. And it takes a minute to go through the proofs of flat earth. It takes a minute. But the people that debunk flat earth are very deceptive, and they're liars, and they're doing tricky things with words. And if you understand that their premise is just not true, it usually just starts with a premise. They say, we know the Earth is a sphere because the angular size of the sun doesn't change when it's rising. Oh, really? That's true? No, it's not true. They just say things that have premises that aren't true. Or the boat going over the horizon. No, we don't see the boat go over the horizon. That's just not true. You don't see past the horizon, and you don't see the boat go over the horizon. You just don't see it. Bringing the boat back into view is proof that you don't see the boat go over the horizon. And they use the same arguments, and they always use this hypnotism type language. Like, it's easy, it's simple, it's simple. And then they go, it's gravity, they figured it out. It's simple, we see boats go over the horizon. No, you don't see boats go over the horizon. You do not see boats go over the horizon. You don't see boats go over the horizon. We bring the boat back in hull first. We're proving to you that we don't see the boat go over the horizon. It didn't go over your curve. You just see till you can't see any farther, and then that's the vanishing point of your perspective. Your eyes focal in on it. You do see above what you're looking at, and then you just don't see any farther, and you don't see a curve. At 60 miles, at 80 miles, you see really far, and they say it's light infraction, it's a mirage. It's not curved. Your mirage isn't curved. And it's also not upside down. It seems like all the natural observation point to a flat plane. They're creating a container for your mind. They're creating a worldview for your mind. It comes from a government. It comes from an authority figure. And you see this with the debunkers arguing with people. You see them emotionally get offended when you question their science. They say you're not intelligent. They say you're stupid. I have a college degree. Now, a college degree doesn't make you smart or stupid. It's just really expensive, and you find out really fast in college that it's just kind of a social club, and it's a way to organize people into groups. But most of these kids on the internet arguing, sticking up for their government, aren't college educated, and they think that their science gives them authority, and it thinks it gives them makes them smart. Anyways, if they're creating a container for your mind, a worldview. So then you join that system and it gives you something. That's what these kids on the internet have sold out for. Now people are looking into flat Earth, and it would be great to go to New Zealand or go to Australia and just show how close the land is. Now, using a projection onto a plane map, using a AE map, using a flat Earth map. I mean, that's what it is. It is a flat Earth map, and we go straight out and we show that the edge is right here. We didn't come out the other side of your ball. That's what I want to do, and that's the easiest way to prove that the Earth is flat. I mean, it should be really simple. We take one of these lines, the 180th line or the 170th line, and we just go from Christchurch, and we just fly straight, and we hit the 80th parallel, and we go to South Victoria Land, and we show on their map where their South Victoria Land is in relation to Christchurch. On their map, it's different. It would take way longer. Also, that flight they do, I wanted to bring this up in my last video. I forgot to. That flight they say they do from Johannesburg to Sydney or Sydney to Johannesburg is the silliest thing in the world. They used to say on the debunking websites, I totally forgot about this. They used to say that it's only 3-hour flight from Sydney to Johannesburg. It's only 3 hours. That's what they used to say on the debunking sites. That's what Mick West used to say. He used to say it was only a 3-hour flight. And then we said the flight doesn't exist. Now they say the flight's a 15-hour flight and the flight exists. Now on their map, in their model, it should only be like a 3-hour flight. Now when they started saying it was a 15-hour flight, I was like, okay, well, I mean, they're going through the northern hemisphere. They're flying straight. That you would fly straight through either through LA or through Africa. Or through northern Africa to get there. Or you could hook around. I don't know. But it turns out the flight's just fake. Turns out they're just faking it all together. It's absolutely crazy. So, I think the container argument's really strong. I don't know if you're going to convince any debunkers or any, flat Earth deniers that the Earth is flat using it. They're pretty set in their ways, and they just if anybody's running to these arguments, oh, it's easy, we've already figured it out. Eclipses prove flat Earth. The sun sets prove flat Earth. Oh, really? Like, things are hard to understand, and things are a little complicated, and but that doesn't mean therefore add a ball. My whole point and my central argument has always been it's globe Earth theory. It's globe Earth theory. The objective reality of your life is that it's a flat fixed plane. Everything points to a flat fixed plane. Now that's going to take a minute to get through the brainwashing of government, but the fact that you can't make globes and you can't make spheres and you can't go stick things to the side of a wall, you just can't. And that's the brainwashing part. You're going to hear people go, yeah, you can, yeah, planes calculate for curvature, snipers have to calculate for curvature. No, they don't. They don't. You go to a sniper range, you'll never see them do it, and you ask them, they'll never do it. They never say they do it. It's absolutely ridiculous. And you see people emotionally connected to these arguments. You see them wanting it to be a ball. If it's not a ball, that means the government lied to them. Not only did the government lie to them, they fell for the lie, and they're not as smart as they thought they were. They thought they were smart because they believe what the government told them. You would never know that the Earth is a ball unless someone told you. This is a story how I became a flat earther. It was probably like 2011, 2012, and I was arguing with some buddies about 9/11. And I basically said, there was a point like where I was just like, I'll just believe anything. I'll believe the opposite of what the government tells me because they just lie so much. And my buddy said to me, if you do that, you're going to become like a crazy flat earther. And I go, what's that? And he goes, people that think the earth is flat, you're going to fall off the earth. And I go, well, yeah, I'll take that. I think, what does the government say? And he goes, I don't know, something about it being on a spinning ball. And I go, yeah, I'll take the flat earth one. And he goes, yeah, but you're going to fall off the earth. And I go, no, we haven't fallen off yet. They're obviously lying. They're obviously lying. Now, obviously, that's not going to prove it, but you will get to the proofs if you just take what the government does and do the opposite of it. And it turns out, yeah, there's an Antarctic treaty. They won't let you go research the ice wall. Water always finds its level. Gravity is just a theory. It's just a hoax. Motion was never detected. You just go through the proofs. And it wasn't until 2013 or 2014 that I saw a documentary called The Principle, and it was talking about motion. Now, they still use globes and they still use spherical Earth as like pictures in the movie. They didn't really talk about it too much. They didn't really talk about the shape of the Earth. It was just where the Earth is sitting in relation to the heavens. Is it the center of existence, or is it just another light in the sky? And they were saying, no, it's the center of existence in that movie. And that to me was flat Earth. No, I didn't know it was flat Earth. It wasn't until I saw a history of flat Earth that I started talking about, wasn't really talking about the shape of the Earth. I was just talking about the fact that the Earth wasn't moving. We're the center of existence, and it's just totally different than what the government is telling us. And someone goes like, dude, you're a crazy flat earther. And I was like, what's that? I don't know what a flat earther is. And they're like, someone that believes the Earth is flat. And I was like, well, it's flat where it's flat. I didn't know I was a flat earther. I didn't know what it was. I was like, yeah, of course, it's a dream in a God's mind, not a dream in a government's mind. And it goes against the religion of the government. And people love their government. Now, that doesn't mean I hate government or want to get rid of government. I'm a libertarian. I want small government, and I want to defund NASA and just start small. I still want to have a government, and I want to just have less government. And we start with NASA, and we start with I even want to keep NASA for a little longer. I want to like do a little research and then hopefully get like see if we can get a picture. I don't know if it's possible to get a picture. I think Nikon should sponsor it, and Nikon should do it for free because the flat earthers have given them so much money. But let's get a hot air balloon. NASA is the biggest buyer in helium, and let's get a hot air balloon and take a big picture of the Earth and settle this once and for all. I want to beat these debunkers too. They call us stupid, and they call us unintelligent, and they didn't even know their own model. If you would have went up to them before 2015 and said the Earth is spinning, hey, is the Earth spinning? They would have been like, what are you talking about? The Earth is spinning. They didn't even know their own model, guys. And then all of a sudden they were like the biggest globe believers. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now they don't want to call anything flat. That's the new thing that's going on. They refuse to say that anything's flat because they just don't want to disprove their silly model. Yeah, but water always has to have a container, and it is flat and it is level. And then within that water comes the land. And the land is our container. Now, outside of the land we know of, there is, and outside of the waters is these more mountains and this more land, and it's our container. The depths of the ocean have never been found. They couldn't find the depths of the ocean. Auguste Piccard, the guy who went the highest in the air in a hot air balloon, his son, the first person to go to the stratosphere, his son went the lowest. In a ship, and he never found the depths. They've never found the depths, and they've never been to the highest of heights, unless you believe the NASA silliness. So, as far as we can tell, it is a fixed, flat, stationary plane. Now, I understand our container is unknown. We don't know exactly everything about our container, but it is something that we can observe, and we do need to go to this ice wall. We do need to see it. We need to at least prove the distance and prove that it is that they're lying. We need to just give them proof. We need to give the debunkers proof. I'm sick and tired of the name calling, and I want to prove it to them. I got a chip on my shoulder about this, and I got a chip on my shoulder against the flat earthers that don't want to do it too. I'll call you guys shills. I'm gonna leave you alone for a little bit longer, but you guys need to go to this ice wall, or I'm gonna do it myself.